Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to another live stream of do-it-yourself budget hot rodding. And as the title suggests, Project Spirit all dressed up and no place to go. This pandemic has been an absolute nightmare for the car community, for the custom car scene, and today is no different than the rest of the pandemic that has been going on for nearly 3 months. It has been an absolute nightmare. What's going on, Mike? It's good to see you, buddy. We're going to be talking about, I guess you could say it's a little bit of frustration. It's one of those things that, I'm upset, I'm devastated, but there's not a doggone thing I can do about it. I guess, again, I'm feeling a little low on tomorrow's events. We got bad weather moving in the area, and Project Spirit's really ready to go. There is one car show I can go to, but it's not an actual competition. More or less, it's just kind of a cruise in or a car meet, more or less. Um, and it's a bit of a drive. Princess Faye will not be with me, so it's really almost no point for me going. About 2.5 hours one way, and Princess Faye's not going to be able to be with me. It's just to me, it doesn't make any sense doing that trip. That's the closest one I can find. There is one north, but nobody's answering the phone, and that's been an ongoing battle today. So hey, what's going on, Queen? So pretty much, I want to do a car show tomorrow, but there is no car shows. There is none. I have been looking probably for the last 3 hours, and I even called my mom up north, and Project Spirit's looking good. Right now, she's more show worthy than she has ever been in the entire time that she's been here on the Prince Magnum channel. So it's been an absolute frustration that it's like she's ready to rock and roll, but there's no car shows. This pandemic has pretty well killed the entire custom car community. Oh, Mike, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Sober Talk yesterday was fantastic. It was off the rails, man. It was wonderful. It was exciting. I got to tell a lot of great stories. It was good. It was good from beginning to end, and I had a great time. I had a great time doing it yesterday. So today's going to be a lot of talk about, about car shows, and we're probably even going to touch base on the fact that Project Spirit is a five-time car show winner. Well, car trophy winner. She's been to 9 car shows, brought home a grand total of, she's brought home a grand total of 5 trophies in 9 car shows, which isn't that bad, but it's one of those things. Spirit's ready for show, but there's no shows. So I'm a little frustrated, and I figured tonight I would at least talk about what you need to do to kind of prepare for a car show. Even show you guys some of the routine that I go through, kind of getting ready for a car show. It's actually ridiculously neat. And that's if the weather stays with us long enough. Right now, like I said, we got thunderstorms moving in the area, and it's just one of those things. So we're going to kind of chill out for a few, kind of Wang Chung for a minute. Then we'll go out. We'll take a look at Project Spirit. Might even throw on her shift knob that we redid. Kind of getting ready for show. It was supposed to get some Princess Faye's artwork, but she's been too busy between work and everything else to be able to handle that. So one of them things. On top of that, Sexy Saturday, I'm okay. I'm just a little frustrated. I'm a little frustrated about tomorrow. It's tomorrow's the American Independence holiday, and there's always car shows except this year. And Project Spirit's looking really good right now. I mean, she's probably looking the best she has the entire time we've had her. Right now, I mean, she's in good shape, but no shows. I even called my mom up in the Union, Missouri area, and there's nothing. Everything's closed right now. Even the restaurants, no carry out, no nothing. And tonight I was planning on, hey, what's going? Oh my goodness, Midnight Cool and everything, man. Oh, hey, I understand. I understand, Mike. I understand. Midnight Cool, welcome to the live stream. Here in a minute, we're going to go out and we're going to take a look at Project Spirit. You're going to get to see the real star of the channel. Uh-oh, you almost wrung the hubby's neck. That's never good. That's never good when you're ready to wring the hubby's neck. That is never good. Um, so we're talking, that's kind of what's going on right now. I'm a little frustrated. Poor Project Spirit. We have worked our butt off on that car, and she's looking good. I mean, we've got more to do. We've got a lot to do to that car before she's truly show worthy. But right now, she's show worthy enough that I know she'd bring home another trophy. Easy, easy. Uh-oh. Well, what's wrong with a drag race? You're going in a straight line. I mean, I understand. I know how you feel about all that. You know, try to talk them into competing in car shows. I mean, there's nothing wrong with car shows. I mean, everybody wants to do drag race, but car shows is where it's at. I mean, that's the exciting stuff. And it's a little less expensive, but I also get it. I also get it. You know, it is the cool. Well, I mean, come on. I mean, I'm still a hot rodder by nature. Uh-oh. Midnight Cool, I don't know if you heard me. I did say hi to you, but welcome to the live stream. For those who do not know, Midnight Cool is actually a member of a Facebook group that I'm a part of called the Sunnies. And really awesome people. For the record, I am more Dukes of Hazard than Fast and Furious. I'm more Dukes of Hazard than Fast and Furious. Um, that good old boy attitude of racing your car around on old dirt roads and things like that. Queen, you're going to be giving me that look a lot, you know. So Midnight Cool is one of the members of the Sunnies. Absolutely a great group to be a part of. And like I said, we're going to wait till a couple more minutes and then we're going to go out and we're going to hang with Project Spirit. And I'm going to kind of show y'all a lot of the stuff that has changed. Kind of I guess you could say this is one of those things, you know, Queen, you give me that look all the time. I just never see it because, I'm on the other side of a camera, if you will. But you give me that look all the time. You're always, Prince Magnum, you shouldn't be doing stuff like that anymore. But the truth of it is that it's fun. It's fun. You know, it is a lot of fun. I have a great time doing what I do. And like today, I actually, you're lucky, huh? Queen, don't tell Princess Faye this, but today I decided to go ahead and get Project Spirit up. I had her up pretty close to about 80, and she was handling it really easy. 80 is not that big of a deal for Project Spirit. I've had her. Well, I did. You got to remember, I've had Project Spirit up to her top speed before. Her top speed's 130. I know her top speed's 130. How do I know that? I'll give you two guesses, and the first one don't count. I did. I've had that car up to 130 miles an hour. I knew you were going to say that. So, um, you know, Here in just a moment, I'm going to get a few sips of coffee, and we're going to go out and we're going to hang with Project Spirit. Project Spirit's the real star of the show. I mean, that's the real star of this channel. That's the car that everyone pays attention to. I mean, I started this DIY stuff a long time ago, and I've had so much fun doing it. Yeah, I know she's watching. I know she's watching. It's just one of them things. I mean, I was curious how she would handle it. Boy, uh, in the process, I found out she had a bit of an exhaust leak today. So I went out, and it was just a single bolt for the exhaust pipe. So I went out, put a new bolt on. She's fine again. I don't care. um, Spirit's a good car. She's a lot of fun to drive, and I mean, she's good on gas. Everyone, when you start building them, you get curious what they can do. Why not? So let's get another sip of coffee. And and let's go out to Project Spirit. Let's go hang with the real star. Mr. Midnight Cool, you're gonna get a kick out of this. Project Spirit, again, is the real star of the channel. I'm just the host. Project Spirit is my 1975 Ford Maverick four-door sedan. Now, a lot of people will look down their nose at the four doors, but you can't find the two doors anymore. You can still find the two-door Mavericks, but I mean, come on, I mean, everyone wants to do the two-door, and I got kids and everything. So at some point, I got to be real, family car, especially with all the fancy fang dangle devices that they put in them nowadays. You got to use for safety features in them nowadays. So it just makes sense to go ahead, get the four-door, and build that instead. So, all right, so we're outside. Let me introduce, for those of you who are not familiar, let me introduce you to Project Spirit. This is Project Spirit, my 1975 Ford Maverick four-door. She's still a little beat up, but she's come a long ways. A long ways. This car has been with the Prince Magnum channel for almost 5 years. Is one of the most recognizable cars in where I live. Hi, Spirit. I love that. And she gets amazing gas mileage. I still drive her to and from work every day. She is, without a doubt, so much fun to drive. And here just shortly, we will grab her keys. But in the meantime, let's climb inside. Let's keep it that way. Yeah, here we go. And that's the shift knob I was using. Here's the one we're going to put back in. This shift knob started its life off as a cue ball, and I took it over to the local Votech and had them tap it out, and that's how that looks. And we just keep repainting it, but this time I repainted it the black that we used here and on the taillight panel in the back. But that's how that's going to look. Boy, that feels so good in the hand too. Right. Well, I can clean that up in a matter of minutes. Doesn't that look better? That looks 1,000 times better. And adjust the boot. First gear, second gear, third. You don't need any more than that. What's going on, Harold? Welcome to the live. Just putting Project Spirit's shift knob back on. There you go. And that's Project Spirit's shift knob. We just had this done, the steering wheel done, probably about, oh shoot, what was it, a couple weeks ago? And then we had this done earlier this year. That's the new ignition panel, so you don't start her up here anymore. You start her down here. And of course, there's a whole video where we did this here, showed how to do this. We did this earlier this year. Princess Faye. Now, you know, Queen, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, I'm still going to make that run. I'm still going to make that run. What do you think of that? And of course, her original inline 6. Yep, I'm still going to do it. That's her original inline 6 from when she was built in November of 1974. If you ever wondered on a car where to find that, let's come over here, I'll show you. Right here. That's your date, the date, there's your month and your year. So date, manufactured by a Ford Motor Company in USA. Date 11/74. So Project Spirit here was built in November of 1974 and listed as a 19. No, you won't. You won't do that. I got that top speed run to do. So there you have it. That's Project Spirit's original inline 6 from 1975. The 3-speed manual transmission that's in her, believe it or not, is out of a 67 Ford Mustang. We're getting ready to change her over to an automatic. Right down here, that's the ignition coil. That's an Excel Super Coil. That's one of the major changes. A lot of stuff you see is bolt-on. And you like that Midnight Cool? Wait till I fire her up. You're going to fall in love with her. And this exhaust manifold is not the original. This is actually for the 68 to 70 Ford Falcon, if I remember correctly. Got this through Eckler's, and I think it was about $150. Slapped this on there, bolted right into place. 1,000 times better than the original. The original had all this extra tubes and BS in there. It was really, it was starting to leak, and it just wasn't that good to have on here anymore. Take her for a spin. Oh, wait till you hear that 6 fire up. Hang on. Let's run upstairs and let's grab the keys. I know you're about to fall in love. You're about to fall in love with the old girl. I've not met many that didn't fall in love with that old car, Initially, I wanted, because I was supposed to do the car show thing tomorrow, but then it's just like plans are starting to fall through. Even the show itself tomorrow that I was looking at isn't really a competition because I've worked, Princess Faye and I have worked around the clock on Project Spirit in a lot of ways to get her ready for show, to compete this year, and we're not going to be able to compete. It breaks my heart. I guess I might want to grab the keys and grab a smoke. Yeah, Queen's going to get on to me here in a second. Queen Bee's always getting on to me. Don't be smoking. Don't be hot-footing it. Don't do this. Don't do that. Shoot, she takes the place of my wife when she's not around. Getting on to me, making sure I don't get into trouble. Princess Faye knows I won't get into too much trouble. I can't. Getting too old. Grr. All right, Midnight Cool. I got the keys. Let's go out. And let's fire her up. Now, try not to fall in love with the old car because I'm telling you, I'm not getting rid of her anytime soon. we had a friend of mine in here. She changed the name, but she went by Pisces Queen for a long time. Now it's like the only Vault Girl or something like that is what she changed it to. And we were talking And, you know, when she's seen Project Spirit for the first time, she's like, Prince Magnum, sell me your car. And I'm like, no, you don't want to even know the price tag on her now, because she's a one of a kind anymore. All right. You're about to see how the anti-theft device works. It won't matter if anybody sees how it works, because the design behind it, if you do get her started, you're only stealing her in a straight line. So, let me show you what I mean. Turn you around. All right. This has a 2-key setup. All right. The first key is this one. This is the original key to Project Spirit, which goes right here. Because without that key, this wheel stays locked. Thank you, Mike G. I've had Project Spirit almost 5 years. Princess Faye, my wife, actually fronted the cash, and we bought her and drove her home and bought Project Spirit from her original family. Found her on Craigslist. And for nearly 5 years, this has been the real star of the channel. So the first key unlocks the wheel. So now I can steer her. This key goes to the ignition, which is here. But that doesn't start her. Let's disengage the clutch. And then right here is the actual starter button. Midnight Cool? Sounds of the 70s. What's going on, filming? Just in time to hang with Project Spirit. We got one of the members of the Sunnies here on the live stream with us, a Facebook that I'm a member of. I love it. Where's Steve McQueen? I love that. That nice rumble comes from that little bitty 6-cylinder. This is an inline 250. She is coming up on almost 300,000 all original miles. This engine averages 40 miles to the gallon on the highway, top speed of 130 miles per hour. Has a 3-speed standard transmission bolted behind her. Used to be the old 3 on the tree, but now she has a Hurst floor shifter, the Hurst Indy shifter. And eventually we will be getting we're getting the parts together to swap her over to a 3-speed automatic, and we're going to be using for her floor shift a 3-speed automatic on the floor from a 1965 Ford Mustang. She does not have power windows. She has the old crank windows. On top of that, she is a 4-door, perfect for family, and is quintessential of what the 1970s looked like. I've gotten used to it. But any artwork that you see, my wife did the artwork. I'm pretty well done with the footage. I just got to load it. So any art, hey, what's going on, Queen Mercury? Just in time to see the real star of the show, Project Spirit. For those that do not know, Miss, oh yeah, I mean everybody loves good old Project Spirit. I mean I've worked hard on this car. Princess Faye has done an amazing job with the artwork, and again, the pinstriping, that is not factory. My wife did that. My wife, Princess Faye, did the pinstriping on Project Spirit. That is not factory. That is custom. Isn't that amazing? Well, actually, it's one of those things. Ian does like Spirit, but he likes Lena a whole lot more. He's kind of the fan of the Lena Car Club there. And earlier this year, we blacked out her taillight panel like they did on the Maverick Grabbers. But the four-door Mavericks, they never actually had that blacked out taillight panel, but we did that on a suggestion from 3rd Gen 83. He's like, I'll do it like this. I said, Ash, you got too much rust. We're going to do it like this. He's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And then when he seen what we were doing, he's like, oh my God, this is serious. He's like, you're doing the real thing. I said, yeah. He's like, oh man. And when we got it done, he's like, she looks amazing. Looks amazing. There was one spot I wasn't happy about. And it's basically right there. There's a little bit of a dent right there. And you have to, when the sunlight hits it, you can see it, but you got to be looking for it. But I wasn't happy with that spot, so we might end up redoing it. Other than that, I mean, she's coming along great. But this is the car that I rock. I drive this car every day to and from work. If Miss Queen Mercury is still in the chat, we'll do it again. We'll fire up Spirit for you. Miss Queen Mercury, if you're in the chat, give us a holler. I don't mind starting Spirit up for everybody. No, Ian likes the underdog. Project Lena. Project Lena is the underdog here on the channel in a lot of ways. Because Spirit's the old car, and that's kind of considered cooler. 2 queens in the chat, look out! I love it. I love it. All right. For those that missed it, this is the original key that we got with Project Spirit. That goes right there. Without that key, this wheel stays locked. So, turn that to the on position. Gosh dang it, Jim and John. And that unlocks the wheel. Without that key, you don't unlock the wheel. Then this key goes to this ignition right here. Turn that to the on position. But that still does not start Project Spirit. Let's disengage the clutch. Sorry about that. My partner, Jammin' John's trying to contact me, and I don't think he realizes I'm live. But we'll take her out of gear. Just put the new shift knob back, the old shift knob back on with the new paint job. And then right here, the ignition is on. Sounds of the 70s. And then right over here is her odometer. When that turns over for the this next time, it'll be the 3rd time in her life that that's turned over. So 300,000 miles. Not bad for an old car. Not bad at all. And again, manual windows, no power needed. I don't even have to get the keys out to roll them up, even though I already got the keys out. So, And earlier this year, we also replaced the voltage regulator, and looks like for the last time I've had to replace the starter solenoid. We kept having problems with the ones that were coming out of China. So there you have it. I mean, that's Project Spirit. I'm doing all right. I'm a little frustrated because all the car shows have been called off. You know, all the car shows have been called off, and I've not been able to do car shows this year. So unfortunately, the bike's coming along good. We got her stripped down. I just got to finish getting all the paint off, and then putting her back to getting her primed and painted, and then putting her back together. But yeah, we got rid of all sorts of pollution equipment on her. Yeah, I'm really proud of the work that we've done. Originally, that valve cover was blue. We redid it in silver, and the embossing, Princess Faye hand painted that. She's stuck at work right now, which sucks, because she wanted, you know, she's stuck all the way there till tonight. So it's one of those things. So, yeah, one of them things. But yeah, well, I was hoping y'all would enjoy seeing Project Spirit in this live. So we just put the shift knob back on. If all goes well, sometime this weekend, we might go ahead and pull the corners off and start sanding those down and getting those primed and ready to go. Which that won't take much. It's like 3 bolts per side, and you drop those off, and then you can just sit there and sand them down. Really, you get a light sandpaper and then sand them down, and it'll be fine. And we got a little bit of rust to work on, but we might start tackling the parts of the car. You know, start looking at this stuff. Now, somebody asked me for a parts list of things that we need for Project Spirit. We need that marker light, because that's the wrong marker light. It's supposed to actually look like this. That's what it's supposed to look like. So, her original owner got sideswiped. You can actually see where she was sideswiped, and it broke that that marker light, and they just replaced it with whatever they can find. Because parts for the Mavericks were getting harder and harder to come by. Probably when this actually happened by that time. So that is one of the things that we're looking for. We need a new grill. Oh, you think he got one? It wouldn't surprise me. And we need a brand new grill. And if Third Gen has his way, he'll send me a Maverick Grabber grill. Because, boy, that would look sharp in Project Lena. Well, I mean, not Project Spirit. Gosh dang it, y'all got me thinking about Project Lena. What we could do to her next. We're looking at keeping the bench seat, because I like my bench seats. Princess Faye can sit next to me. And we got to get to work on this thing. She's going to rust away to nothing if we don't. A total of 10 likes. Wow, that is a lot of likes, my friends. But yeah. So this is what the 70s look like, you know, in a lot of ways. And again, yeah, he warned me on that one. And again, this is an old school shifter. Let me bring you down here. This is an actual Hurst shifter. The real deal. Okay. And this... Thank you, Queen. That shift knob was actually, like I said, this shift knob started its life off. Believe it or not, a total of 11 likes. Wow. Thank you, guys. This shift knob started its life off as a cue ball. Bought it from Walmart. And what I had done is I took it over to the machine shop at the local
Votech here in Bonne Terre, and they tapped it out for the right size, and then all I got to do is thread it on here. And believe it or not, that's all it was. That was a cue ball. And then we just painted it this color to match everything else we've been doing to the car. Then this particular shifter, the company Hurst, which is now owned by Holley, they don't even make these shifters anymore. That shifter is long gone. When I bought this, there was only 3 left on the shelf. So legit, this shifter doesn't even exist anymore except on paper. The only way you're going to find them now is in scrap yards. So good luck if you ever want one. And when I say she is a 3-speed manual, there's your 3 pedals. So I still drive stick. And as best as I could show you guys, this is a little different than what you're used to. With modern cars that have standard transmissions, you can't rest your hand on it. Well, underneath here, as best as I can show you, the linkage actually runs up alongside the transmission. And connects into the side. So the linkage is all external. Where it mounts, it actually bolts to the back of the transmission. What was that, Midnight Cool? Oh, that's all right. You don't have to be knowledgeable about cars. You just got to love what you see. You know, it's all about maintaining the respect for the classic car community, because they don't. Even now in the classic car community, they're just basically building the same car. All that changes is they all have to have a certain type of V8. They all got to have a certain type of transmission. The only thing that changes is the color and maybe the body of the car. And it's gotten that way. Everyone wants Camaros, Mustangs, Firebirds. They all want the cars of the 60s, and they look down their nose at these cars of the 70s. And the 4-doors get a lot of hate, even to this day. Considering, though, the 4-doors are all going to be what you can find now. Hi, honey. For those that do not know, my beautiful, lovely wife is in the chat right now. Miss Fay Rue, that is Princess Fay Rue. Hey, what's going on, Warrior Grandma? Yep, this is Project Spirit. This is the car that this is the car that my wife, and more or less, bought for me. So I love this car. So she sounds a lot better earlier today. She was missing that bolt right there on the exhaust pipe. So what I had to do is I had to come in and I had to run a bolt because it was the bolt just fell off. So I put a new bolt on, tightened it up, and now she's back to running like normal. So legit, that's all I had to do. Hi, honey. Yeah, you did. What's going on, Think Different? So I wanted to do that car show tomorrow, but as you could tell, this is the weather in Missouri. This is pretty much it. This is the weather in Missouri right now. So there is no way I'm going to take her out, considering that she does like to kick out on me every now and again. Now, for those that do not know, Midnight Cool is one of the members of the Sunnies group community that I'm a part of. Yeah, it's been crappy. So car show, I wanted to find one close to home, but that ain't happening either. It is beautiful weather, just not for Project Spirit. She has a tendency, like I said, to kick out on me, and she's done that to me twice in the 5 years, and once in rainy weather and another time in snowy weather. Well, it was ice. And I said, well, that done it. So if I don't have to take her a long distance, I won't. And again, my wife actually did the pinstriping. Yeah, good luck right now. Now, here's something that I know it's going to sound silly, but this is something I added, and it's a definite safety feature for these old cars. This, when your engine gets hot, oh, that was nice of her. But this particular radiator cap, whenever for anyone who's got a classic car or truck, get one of these for your vehicle. And here's why. That was really nice of your coworker, honey. What you do is you flip that up and it releases all the pressure. Because in the old days, if you didn't do that, you'd take the cap off. Yeah, she does. And it would blow coolant everywhere. So make sure that you get yourself one of these. They're ridiculously cheap. Yeah, any artwork you see, that is my wife's handiwork. That is her handiwork right there. She actually did the embossing on the valve cover. It says powered by Ford. She hand painted that, and it was always there, but she just, where it was embossed, she took a Ford blue and painted that in by hand. The artwork up here, that is Princess Faye's handiwork as well. She did Project Spirit's name up here, which it's getting all banged up. Hi, Analysis Mayor. And then she hand that herself. That is hand painted, freehand. No stencils, no nothing. Yeah, it's amazing work. So it looks amazing. She did an awesome job. I'm very proud of her work. And I show it off every chance I get. And I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, it's a little dinged up, but you're going to get that with daily driving. And this is the factory air cleaner, but with a lot of stuff removed, because underneath this, believe it or not, is the air filter itself. It's the air cleaner assembly, but underneath it is the actual air filter. So that is it. So legit, the air will actually pass in here and kind of pass through all of this, and then just kind of reach. Okay, honey, I love you too. And it just goes right into that air filter, which it's getting close in time to replace. Oh, yeah. Well, this was actually an experimental blue that I was trying out, and it just didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it to. So we're probably going to take it back to either silver or Ford blue. But legit, that's basically, they don't make open element air cleaners for these. So this was my response to that, is I modified the original to open up and allow her to breathe better. But it could still be put back to original if we wanted. So that is why we did it that way. So there you have that. And I actually, in one video, actually kind of made up that wing nut, how that works. And it just screws right down into the top of the carburetor, and you snug it down, pulls everything tight. So all the air going through has to pass through that air filter first. So that's how that works. And again, she is a single exhaust, but she makes a nice rumble going down the road. They don't make them like this anymore. Matter of fact, we even added in these. Originally, it just used regular bolts, but that is all that is. And you can just loosen these up. She's got a few bolts in a few spots, but you can untighten them and, make your repairs if you got to change a valve cover gasket. So it makes everything real easy to work on. This is an electronic distributor, even though it looks like it's a points, the old mechanical points distributor. As a matter of fact, right here, that's the actual electronic ignition box. Okay, and this converts that old style distributor over to electronic ignition, which was quite possibly the most important modification. Well, the most important change that they made in the 1970s, changing these over from the old mechanical distributors. Back in the 1960s, all of your performance cars. What's going on, Coffee Queen? Just showing off my car, Project Spirit, my 1975 Ford Maverick. Matter of fact, I know this. Any artwork that you see, even on the engine, is my wife's handiwork. My wife actually hand painted these parts herself. Yep. I had to behave myself. And right down, yeah, she even hand painted wings on the on here. On the fan. So that so this is the, this is her original, this is the original engine that came with this car when it was built in November of 1974, even though it's a 1975. Yeah, it's getting ready to do that here, as you can tell. Getting ready to do that here. Yeah, my wife's amazingly talented. Here, we'll go ahead. And shut the hood. So Miss Coffee Queen can get a look at my car that I drive every day to and from work. This is Project Spirit, the real star of my channel. I take my wife out on dates in this car. I drive it to work. I even take it to the grocery store. Right? It is. So this is the car that my wife bought me. Hey, what's going on, Jesse Johnson? This is the car my wife bought me. And we work on this car together. Matter of fact, earlier this year, we blacked out that taillight panel ourselves. Took it down to the bare metal, fixed all the rust, built it back up with primer, and then Princess Faye basically took over the paint after that, and she did that herself. The pinstriping you see on the car, the pinstriping, that is not factory. My wife did the pinstriping on this car. The hood alone took her 2 hours. The hood alone took her 2 hours. And it was all because of these corners here. These corners took the longest. But my wife actually did the pinstriping herself. Really added a lot of flair to this old car. I mean, she's still a little beat up, but what do you expect for a four-door Maverick, that's about to turn 46? Now, for those of you who are not familiar, again, I'm going to show you how I know the build date. Okay? Right here is the original tag. Okay? All cars have to have these in some way, shape, or form. And it'll tell you right there, manufactured by Ford Motor Company in USA. So this car is a true American car. Right here is the date. And the date, 11/74. She was built in November of 1974, but listed as a 1975. Okay? So that's how you know all of that. And it gives you all that information right there. It's actually really neat to kind of go through this stuff, including what's going on, Viable? Welcome to the live, my friend. But yeah, so we have done an awful lot to this old car. Inside, let me walk you through here. We just got this new steering wheel was actually sent by one of the members of the Maverick Nation, if you will, one of my supporters here on the Prince Magnum channel. Anyone who supports Prince Magnum, no, she's a 3-speed manual. We'll get to that in a moment. The steering wheel itself, this was actually a gift from one of the members of the Maverick Nation, one of my supporters. He actually sent this. This is not a cheap steering wheel. Okay, the horn does work. So this is the real deal. This is a custom steering wheel. This did not come factory. Okay. Good to see you, Viable. Then he sent a brand new dash cap. Okay. This basically covers the old cracked dash and it makes it look brand new all over again. And of course, it'll match the steering wheel. It matches the shift knob and it matches the ignition panel right over here. Now, this is a 3-speed manual. I still drive stick. The 3 pedals. All right. Well, because I was supposed to go to a car show tomorrow, so I wasn't prepared. And again, my wife's amazing artwork right up here. She actually hand painted this at a car show, and it was actually a charity car show I was doing to help raise money for all the things. How cliche can you get? We were raising money at that car show for to find a cure for blind kids. That was legit what it was. It was called Cruising for the Blind. And it was the second car show that Project Spirit had ever done. And while we were there, Princess Faye hand painted this while I did all the PR stuff. So she hand painted that herself. Now, to go along with all of this, we talked about the ignition panel and the anti-theft system that is in Project Spirit. That's funny, Viable. Okay. So, for those of you who love what you're seeing so far, let's go ahead and break out the keys. Now, this car requires 2 keys to actually drive her. This is the first key, so I'm going to walk you through this for those who are just getting with us here. This is the original key, and it goes right here. Without this key here, you can't move that steering wheel to save your life. But turn the key to the on position. 1970, she's a 1975. So you turn the key to the on position, and you can now move the steering wheel. Then you use this key down here in the on the ignition panel. This is where the original radio used to go. Turn that to the on position, okay? Once that is in the on position, then you can start her, but you don't start her here. Let me disengage the manual transmission here. That's actually really funny. We'll get to that in a second. And then you hit the key. Well, you hit the button, the starter button. Well, it's funny you would say that, Viable. Turn that and take that key out, and then locking steering wheel. Viable, it's funny you would say something like that. The engine in this car made its way into different other things too. Found its way in airplanes. It found its way into trucks. They use those trucks to push snow in all sorts of places. Believe it or not, it even found its way into tractors too. Ford used to have its own tractor company too. So this engine made its way around to several places. So that's why the inline sixes are considered some of the. You wish. Viable. This car does not. It's kind of. I'll have to sit down and explain it in this stream, but we're gonna do that. But this is Project Spirit. That's the neighbor's car. He just bought that car too. Just bought that car. Good looking car. Not really my style, but you know, I'm not much on Nissan, but it's not a bad looking car. But him and I are supposed to do a walk around his car sometime here in the near future, so you're just going to have to wait. But I drive this car to and from work every day. Ha! He paid a pretty penny for it. It's a 350Z Nissan. I think like a 2003, 2004. Now, I know y'all got some questions at this point about Project Spirit. The first question that y'all had was how much was she when she was brand new in 1974, 75? $1,995. In today's money would be a little, open the hood again? Okay. We'll go down, we'll open the hood. So when she was brand new, you could buy Project Spirit for $1,995 plus some change. That also being said, in today's money, I think it's like 14,000 is what you would pay for a brand new. In today's money. The original inline six. That's an original Ford inline six from technically November of 1974. Now, viable. I'm going to explain a few things to you that I know you're a computer tech guy, but when it comes to cars and how you are with basically how you are with computers is how I am with engines. So let me walk you through, and I hope you'll understand when I get to the end of this what I am about to explain. Project Spirit, and I know you'll say that that you know where you live, cars get great gas mileage and things like that. That's fine, but here in the U.S., a car that can get better than 30 miles to the gallon. Okay, you know a bit about them. Okay. Cars here in the U.S., 40 miles to the gallon on the highway is respectable, which is what Project Spirit averages. You have to remember that this engine measures out to 250 cubic inches, or in liters, 4.1 liters, give or take. That's actually what she's listed in other parts of the world. This engine is listed as a 4.1 liter inline six. Now, the biggest, most important change that happened around this time is right here in the distributor. We switched over from the mechanical distributors. The mechanical distributors of the 1960s that was used during the muscle car era had a lot of flaws. As a matter of fact, one of the major design flaws was after a few months of use, your car would have this horrible. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Okay. But back then, you would get this horrible gas smell. Now, some people are kind of nostalgic about that gas smell. I don't like it. That means that your engine is burning very inefficiently. So that is why in the 1970s, we switched over to electronic ignition. This box that Ford installed in these cars changed this over to an electronic ignition. Now, by doing that, you can modify this engine to burn gasoline better than ever before. Along with that, making the change over to running White Lightning Moonshine was even easier. To go along with that, right over here is a hotter ignition coil made by Excel. This is the Excel Super Coil. Now, what this allows me to do is to burn it, to throw more electricity into those spark plugs, which gives me a more efficient burn when it comes to gasoline. Back in the 1960s, cars were dumping 60% of their fuel out of the tailpipe in complete vapor form. You are not burning that gasoline, and that's why you always had that horrible gas smell. Well, today, Project Spirit doesn't have that gas smell. She burns more than 40% of the gasoline that goes into her combustion chamber, meaning that in a nutshell, that is why she gets better gas mileage than most hybrid cars, and along with that, is actually better for the environment than a hybrid car. Now, viable. You brought up electric cars, and I'm going to say something right now. Electric cars are useless today. Why? Because you have to plug them in. And where I live, I get you. Where I live, electric cars, we don't have the solar power stations yet for like Tesla and places like that. So where I live, they still run coal to generate electricity, meaning that electric cars are actually worse for the environment than Project Spirit right here. So in essence, Project Spirit is still cleaner for the environment than a brand new car, meaning that if you want to argue which is better, well, I will say it like this. I will not do an electric car because I won't buy a car that doesn't come with an alternator. Plain and simple, it's a ripoff. So you're still tethered like you have a cellular device in your own car, and you're limited even by the weather. What do I mean by that? If you have an electric car charge in cold weather, that's why even the cheap electric cars made by the big three here in the US are not doing that well in Canada. So most people are still staying with hybrids, or they're staying with SUVs, crossovers, and things like that. So I myself wouldn't, okay. So myself personally, I would never, ever, ever own a modern electric car until it starts coming with an alternator, a way to actually charge it as it's going down the road, like Project Spirit. So would I swap over to an electric engine? Unless I designed it. Yeah, I said that. I could legit design an electric engine that would be better for a car than what they're building now. I said it. So let's go have a cigarette, and we'll talk a little bit more about today's events, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what's to come on Project Spirit. That's true, but also take into consideration with hybrid cars. Most people don't talk about this, but you have to maintain two engines, and they're extremely expensive. And most modern day car companies, they're notorious for building their cars to break. You pay on them until basically you'll pay on them for 5 to 7 years, and after 5 to 7 years, they are junk. Your new car is going to be in the scrapyard in 7 years. Starting around 2006, that's been the big focus, is building cars that you're going to have to replace. And it goes with the trucks, it goes with the crossovers, and it even goes for the hybrids. And they're extremely expensive to repair. I don't recommend buying a new vehicle. I don't recommend anyone buying a vehicle after 2006. And that is simply put because they're designed to break. All of them are. There are car companies even now are even bypassing those warranties. Seriously, that's all the rage right now. And I'll put it to you like this, Viable, because I know it. If you go to buy a new car, ask the sales rep if the dealership will offer software patches for the entire time that you're paying the car off. Ask them that question, because I know the answer. They don't. Once you buy that car, within 3 months, what I'm talking about is because of the onboard ECU, it is a computer, and you know this probably better than I do. You have to have software patches every now and again. You have to update the software, okay? And most cars, when they leave the factory, there are software patches available, but the dealerships don't provide them. So a car that was made a few months after another car, same car, but a few months later, will most likely have a different software patch in it that's supposed to be better. So if that's any indication how little maintenance is actually done to these vehicles,
how if they're kept up with. And that's fine. If you're enjoying it, rock it. But me personally, believe it or not, cars of the 70s were the same way. The performance numbers were not there, but I feel you there. You can get them. Shit, it's a rocket. That's funny. 0 to 60 in 7.8. I actually had the fastest one I had is at about 5 seconds. 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. And it was a 78 Camaro that my dad and I built. 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. Project Spirit goes 0 to 60 in about the same amount of time, believe it or not. But that inline six is not made for speed. It's made for economy. They will, but they won't outlast them. They won't outlast them. There's also another problem with electric cars that no one talks about. What is known as battery memory. And let me explain. Battery memory is something that happens with all rechargeables. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, it's limited for insurance. Okay, I get you. So you guys, well, I know you're over there in, I forgot what country, isn't it? Ireland you're over in? You're over in Ireland, aren't you? Viable? If you're over in Ireland, that makes sense, you know. Well, Queen, let them try. Let them try it. You know, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. You're like, no. You know, so I mean, in all fairness, Land of the Leprechauns, hey. As long as it's not that really crappy horror leprechaun movie. That was crappy. Hey, I've seen some of the pictures of Ireland. It's a beautiful country. I want to come to the British Isles and see what you guys got going on over there. I hear, you know, I've seen a lot of pictures and seen some footage, and it's a beautiful country over there. And the Irish are known for being some of the toughest fighters in the world. Not a joke. How much? How much? Tell me. Give me the good news. I'm sorry, that's what they teach us over here. You know? That's what they call it over here. Hey, $15 is still $15. That's $15 you didn't have. Okay? That's $15 you didn't have before. You know? Don't look at it as, you know, I only made, you know, look at it as that's $15 I didn't have. No, I grew up during that time that we were all about, you know, starting your own business and things like that. Oh, you're talking about the whole. Well, you got to remember, I grew up in elementary school during the Reagan administration and during the Margaret Thatcher days. That'll say plenty right there. What's going on, James? Welcome to the live, my friend. We were just showing off Project Spirit, my 1975 Ford Maverick. Here, we'll just go back down and say hi to the old girl. I don't need that. And yes, I know how y'all feel about Trump, but he's done better than what the last candidate could have done. Remember, she gave nuclear weapons tech to North Korea. Yeah, that's why a lot of us want her locked up. And don't ask about the Clinton Foundation over in Haiti. But no one talks about that. Here we go. James?
This is Project Spirit, my 1975 Ford Maverick. Hey, I got nothing but respect for you guys over there in Europe. Nothing but respect. What do you think, James? This is what I drive to work every day. It's come a long ways. My wife actually did the pinstriping on this car. I love this car. I'm so glad that Ian's not in here right now. He would, no, it's not. No, it's not. So there you go, James. This is my car. We were wanting to do a car show tomorrow. There you go. The interior, a little dirty right now, but it doesn't take much to clean up. Just got this new dash cap in about a week ago. It's all form fitted, looks good. Looks brand new again. Steering wheel's custom. Bought the car for $1,000 US. That's my baby. Had that car now? Okay, Mike, you rest well, okay, buddy? You rest well. Been thinking of you. He's probably resting. Didn't he stream earlier today? Night, Mike. Rest well. All right. And here, real quick. There's a transmission in my office. We'll talk about that now. Princess Faye and I had a long discussion about, about Project Spirit being a manual powered car for a long time now. And some of the parts for those old manuals are getting harder and harder to come by. Yeah, I know he was on Discord earlier. I'm hoping we could do Sexy Saturday tomorrow. I'm hoping. But right now it doesn't look good. But let's come in. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about, some of the changes. Okay, let me get you all caught up to speed. It's getting harder to get these parts for some of these old cars and some of the old designs. And I like driving stick. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. But the problem is that as time goes, he didn't stream today? Oh, man. I hope he's all right. Have to holler at him. Wow. I hope he's okay. But it's getting harder and harder to get those old parts. So the decision was that because it's getting harder to get parts and things like that, the best thing to do at this point is look at a way that we can, change over to something that we can get parts for. So the automatic is the way to go because you can get parts for those all day long and then some. So it just makes sense to go to something that's going to be easier to get parts for.
That's one of the reasons why we're looking at V8 swap. You can't get the parts for the inline sixes like you can for the V8s, and you end up paying more for the inline sixes. So it just makes sense at this point. Go ahead and do the V8 swap. So we're looking at that. Um, as a matter of fact, this is the shifter that's going to be going into Project Spirit. This is out of a '65 Ford Mustang, and it'll bolt right to the floor, and I can go through the gears just like a regular automatic, and it'll have up to 3 gears, just like the old style automatics. But this is actually out of a 1965 Ford Mustang, so it's going to be pretty neat going in. Now I have to get ready Monday to place an order for a shift cable, and it's a universal shift cable that will allow me to bolt that in just about anywhere I need to, and then I'll be able to shift through the gears like normal. And it'll work with this shifter because the bottom of this is very similar to the low car shifters, which is an aftermarket shifter. So that being said, so this will actually make Project Spirit, it'll make it easier to get her parts for many years to come. The objective is to prove that you can get decent gas mileage out of a V8 and still have decent performance and that sort of thing. Now, when I talk about decent performance, she's got to at least do 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds, and she has to have a top speed of around 140 to 150 miles per hour. Better if I can, but that is what I'm shooting for. And should get at least a 12-second quarter mile. So that is what we're going for. And we're going to be shooting for upper 20s to mid 30s for gas mileage. And yes, all of this can be done. I've done it with other cars before. Project Spirit will be no different. It's not that hard. It's really not. It can be done. You've got to really know your stuff. And we're talking old school tech, but it can be done. She has to be able to be converted over to an alternate fuel source. So I'll have to consider this as well. And when I say alternate fuel source, the engine that's in Project Spirit is the type of engine that some of your old moonshiners ran back in the day. And we're talking that to run White Lightning moonshine in your old carbureted engine, all you had to do was turn in the mixture screw about almost a quarter of a turn, and you turned back the spark advance a quarter of a turn, and that got you in the ballpark area, and you could legit run White Lightning moonshine instead of gasoline through your car, which would be a heck of a way if you got pulled over. Sir, have you been drinking? No, the car has. So we're talking that this is all old school tech, and White Lightning moonshine is basically an agricultural product. It's an alcohol, but you have to make it from some sort of plant source, and it's usually straight up sugar cane. You can do it from sugar beets, and which we don't use sugar beets for anything here in the U.S. other than as a bait for deer hunters. So, and there's other ways to bait deer, so you really don't need it. And it's ridiculously easy to grow. It's a freaking root. You throw it in the ground. It's like a goddamn potato, you know? So legit, Project Spirit right now is currently set up where she can run a different fuel source that you can grow. She does not need petrol. Okay, so legit, Project Spirit is, again, we're back to that technology that most people tend to forget. And moonshiners did it back in the day. And you could do it all the way up until, I would say engines could handle running alcohol in stock form all the way up until close to about 1980. And that was all of them. All the car companies were that way. That's one of the reasons why they started pushing the fuel injection thing. So that's one of the reasons why I like that old technology. Electric engines are not the future yet. We're a long ways from them. And to me, I'd rather give the farmers the job than, somebody who's going to be, suffering from black lung Okay, I'd rather give farmers the job. That's just my opinion, you know. And I'd rather give farmers the job than send young men and women off to be shot in a foreign country. That's just another way I'd look at it. So to me, Project Spirit, that's just the way I like it, you know. All right, so we're a little over, well, we're almost at the hour and a half marker. I see a grand total of 13 likes. Thank you all so much for that. That is awesome. And I got you up to speed with all the neat stuff that we're doing to Project Spirit so far. Project Spirit has brought home a grand total of 5 trophies and 9 car shows. Trophies are in the living room. We've showed those off a million times, and we'll show them off a million more if we want. Um, I love my old cars, you know. So to answer your question, um, you know about these old cars being fuel efficient, they are to a degree. Um, I know in other countries, you know, everyone's like, oh, you know, this is the way to go. This is the way to go. You can't beat you can't beat a classic looking car. And I say classic, but here in Missouri, Project Spirit is not a classic anymore. She passed a classic a long time ago. She's actually considered an antique now. So that is that. If you were wondering, wow, live stream just dropped off a little bit. But the problem that we're having right now is because of the pandemic, there is no car shows at the moment. There's no car shows. And it's breaking my heart because I really, really wanted to do another car show. I wanted to do one this year, but right now, all the competition car shows are not happening. And it kind of sucks. Um, it's just one of those things. So right now, we're just kind of sitting and waiting for the car shows to begin. And we had plans for tomorrow, but those plans have been shot to hell. So right now we're just kind of playing that whole waiting game, waiting, just waiting for the car shows to come back. And that's just kind of how it is, you know. So that is what's going on here. And right now it breaks my heart at the moment, that there is no car shows pretty much anywhere. It's just kind of how it is. Um, you know, right now I'm hollering out at a few people so they can make sure that they see that, hey, we're live. What in the world? Wow. So, all right. Gosh darn it. I hate whenever a live stream falls flat on its face like this. There's only a couple of us in here. Which that's okay. That happens, that being, going into the lives and things like that. So, um, the plan right now is tomorrow. A lot is up in the air. We're just kind of playing the game where we're just waiting to see, what Princess Faye wants to do and all that other stuff. Where the hell is Ian? I haven't seen him or anything. Oh, man. Good coffee. Good coffee. So, real quick, did y'all see the new aircraft remover? I know, Queen, you did. You seen the new aircraft remover. That was awesome that you got to see that. That was Ian's idea for, the Destiny 2 and all that other stuff. That was his idea. I can't take credit for that one. He wanted me to take out the Almighty in that event on Destiny 2. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do it for you, man. And when I did it, he's like, yes. I mean, I had to add in a little bit of music and everything, but it was fun. Um, so that's kind of the plan right now. Tomorrow is still kind of up in the air. I don't know how Princess Faye is going to feel. But I'm hoping to do Sexy Saturday, but I don't know yet. I don't know. You know about as much about it as I do at the moment. It just kind of depends on how she feels. Um, and I've been looking for a car show close to home because the weather's going to be turning sour. And I really don't feel like taking Spirit out on a long-winded drive just to not even have a car show really, because no one's going to be really getting out. I can't even represent my channel. So I wanted to do one close to home, and there's none. I looked. I spent like 3 hours looking, and it is just so frustrating because we put so much work into that car, and we just can't do the show. So I'm all brokenhearted and everything. I'm not gonna lie. That's why the title is, Project Spirit's all dressed up and no place to go. So we'll probably be back out tomorrow working on the bike for a little while. That might be part of what we're doing tomorrow. Got a total of 14 likes. I didn't see any dislikes. I kind of popped into my own stream for a minute and took a look, and that sort of thing. Again, Project Spirit, yeah. So we're probably going to we're going to do something, but I don't know what. That's kind of the plan right now. And we might actually shut down a little early, so I can start kind of making some sort of preparations for tomorrow. I know Sunday I was looking at streaming Legend of Zelda, the original Legend of Zelda. I was looking at doing that for Sunday. We might have to skip ahead and do it tomorrow if worse comes to worse, which that's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind, upping that a little bit. And we might even spread it out for 2 days, because Legends of Zelda, the original Legends of Zelda, as much as I love that game, it is a little long-winded. I love that game, and maybe I might try the walkthrough of Zelda 2 and try to beat that one in a live stream. Oh man, that would be so cool. That would be so cool, wouldn't it? And we might be changing the schedule a little bit, where Mondays I'll be streaming and Tuesday I take off, because I'm debating on actually sitting down and downloading Fortnite so I can play with you guys on Tuesdays. I know you guys might enjoy that. I don't, Princess Faye's like, you may not really like that game because it's kind of stupid in some ways. But, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll play it by ear. So right now, the Prince Magnum channel is in a quandary where we're having to, where we're kind of trying to figure out, because we've done a lot of stuff, and we're kind of hitting that lull where we're trying to figure out what we're going to do next. But we'll play it by ear. It's one of those things. We're just going to have to play it by ear. But there's some things that won't change. Tomorrow, like I said, hey, what's going on, Gotons? Yeah, I'm familiar with Fortnite. Gotons, you missed it earlier. We were outside taking a walking around Project Spirit. You want to go back down and take another quick walk around the old girl so you can see what's changed? Yeah, I'm familiar with Fortnite. I've never really played it, but I've seen it played, and I've looked at it, and it looks worth playing. Yeah, we'll go down to the old girl. Let's take a walk-see. Oh, real quick, Project Spirit's being changed over to automatic. That's her new transmission right there. That's the new transmission for Project Spirit. What's going on, Minion? We got Minion and we got Meowdred in here. Welcome to the live stream, guys. Let's take a walk down to the real star of the channel. And we'll even fire her up again. We fired her up like 3 times now. So let's take, what's one more time? We'll do it for you guys. Minion and Meowdred. Let me introduce you to the true star of the Prince Magnum channel. I am only the host. I am not the star. The real star is my car, Project Spirit. If you're not familiar with Project Spirit, you've been missing out. This is Project Spirit, my 1975 Ford Maverick. Right now, the weather is lousy because it's been wanting to rain.
And for us hot rodders, that's no good. Check it out. My wife and I actually redid that panel. Oh, she is. She's a beautiful car. The pinstriping, that is not factory. My wife actually did the pinstriping. Took her 2 hours on the hood alone. I bought the the pinstriping, and she did that. And we're really proud of the work that went into it. The original inline 6 from technically November of 1974. But it's been cleaned up. Had a few minor modifications. Work that you see, again, is my wife's handiwork. She actually hand painted that herself. That over there as well. Project Spirit will be 46 in November. She's almost 50 years old. But that is the original 6-cylinder that came with her from the factory in 1974. All righty. Let's have a seat right here. That is her odometer. Hey, Blucky. When that odometer turns over, that'll be the third time in this car's life that odometer has turned over. She's coming up on 300,000 all original miles on her engine. Now, this is the brand new steering wheel that 3rd Gen 83 sent us. Brand new in here, so that's a custom steering wheel. This is not a cheap steering wheel. The dash cap he also sent. Brand new dash cap. Okay. Oh, by the way, my wife hand painted that too. Did that at a car show. She hand painted that. Okay, you guys ready for this? This is the original key. Well, one of the original keys. Put that into the key switch because this unlocks the steering wheel, but that does not start the car. Over here is the ignition panel. This is the key that you use on the ignition panel. Turn that to the on position. But that does not start the car. Let me disengage the standard transmission. And this is a 3-speed manual. 1st gear, 2nd gear, 3rd gear. That's all you get. You don't need any more than that. All right, take her out of gear. Push in this button. And that starts the car. All right, guys. Sounds of the 70s. Put her back in gear so she doesn't go anywhere. Then, right there, take that key out. Steering wheel locks into place. So even if they get her started, they're only stealing her in a straight line. Who doesn't love sounds of the 70s? This little bitty 6-cylinder makes that big of a rumble. Oh, hand crank windows. The originals. Still works. After all these years, never had a problem out of them. But this a little bitty inline six makes that big of a rumble. Thank you, Gotons. I have since we've made that change. I've forgotten it a couple of times. But this is Project Spirit. Gotons, I don't know why you're not in blue. Hang on here. There you go, Gotons. Gotons, if you'll do me a favor and just say something in the chat, you'll notice that the color of the text of your name has changed. You'll notice an icon next to your name. That is because you are now a member of the Maverick Mechanics. I've been dying to do that one. You like it, Meowdred, huh? One of my friends, Pisces Queen, is like, sell me your car. Sell me your car. I'm like, no, I am not selling you my car. Bumblebees, I like that. That's cute. Real quick, the only part that I have found that's not made in the U.S., this was made in Canada. Just the chrome strip there. Oh, that's your backup channel? Okay. And she does have disc brakes on the front, but the disc brakes that are on here are actually for a 70 to 73 Ford Mustang. So that's the disc brakes that are on here. She still has drum brakes on the rear. You can actually see the old drum in there. And that used to be the style of brake that used to be on the front. You're little bumblebees. I love it. Okay. Well, Gotons, I got you hooked up then. You're back as a moderator on the channel. There you go. See? On here on the Prince Magnum channel, the hey, no problem. I know you'll watch my back. But let me go a step further now. Everything that we're doing to Project Spirit is designed to make sure that she will last us a lifetime. Here on the Prince Magnum channel, we have the Maverick Nation, and the ladies get called Lady Mavericks here on the channel. So we have our Lady Mavericks, our Little Mavericks. For those of you who have kids, they're Little Mavericks. Yep. Yeah, the green light, that's because I don't do well with regular light. That's why. And about a week ago, we got this in. This is the new automatic floor shifter. This is actually a 1965 Ford Mustang. And this is going to go into Project Spirit. I know, Queen, you're getting excited to see what it looks like in there. I know what it's going to, I pretty well know what it's going to look like. It's going to be real neat. Yeah, I'm excited. I love this stuff. This is the stuff I love doing. Other stuff will come and go. But for me, it's always cars. I'm still a teenager at heart. I still love working on them. I still love modifying them. Princess Faye has to put a stop to me because I want to get in there and start tinkering around with her car and making some changes that'll make it look neat and great for show. But she's like, no, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. Well, then what do you want to do? I don't know. Well, let me do something. It drives me nuts.
Just one of them things, you know. I need coffee. We need coffee, don't we? I need coffee. You know, I love that's what I do. I love working on cars. I've enjoyed working on cars my whole life. Um, just one of them things, you know. I've enjoyed working on cars, you know, since I started turning wrenches when I was 16, and I'm getting ready to turn 41, you know, this August 7th. I'll be 41 years old August 7th, and I love it. I love it. I love working on cars. Um, my first car was a 1971 Nova. Second car was a 78 Camaro. Then I had an 83 Caprice Classic, a 1980 Chevy Malibu station wagon, a 77 Oldsmobile Delta 88, my favorite. That was my favorite car ever. Um, then I had an 83. Then I had an 83 Mercury Grand Marquis Colony Park station wagon. I liked it. It was all right. You know, it was the first Ford I ever owned, Ford product I ever owned. Then I had an 84 Buick Regal, an 87 Olds Cutlass Supreme, not the front wheel drive one, the rear wheel drive 87 Olds Cutlass. I had that. Then after that, I had a 2001 Pontiac Grand Prix. Thank you, Meandrin. Then after the Grand Prix, had a 91 Ford Tempo. I hated that car. We actually made fun of that car and called it Dinky because it was legit the smallest car I'd ever had. Uh, I like that. And then we had a 96 Ford Mustang. I hated that car. Then we had Project Spirit. We also had a 77 Maverick at one time known as Project Vera. And then we've got Project Lena, which is a 2003 Pontiac Grand Am GT. And that's Project Spirit's co-star here on the channel. But I still take Princess Faye out on, I'll take her out cruising in Project Spirit. We'll go to restaurants. Well, before all this, we would go to restaurants kind of, you know, and on dates. And I would take her out in Project Spirit. There you go. You know, that's funny. Um, yep. Male bees are called drones. Yep. Um, so I mean, uh, so Spirit has really, for those that do not know, Project Spirit has been a part of the Prince Magnum channel this November. The last week of October, she'll be a part of the Prince Magnum channel, a grand total of 5 years. So around Halloween, Project Spirit will have been on the Prince Magnum channel for 5 years. And in 5 years, she is actually, let me say it like this: the Prince Magnum channel is the house that Project Spirit built. Last year, when I started getting to know a lot of you and making it into your streams and things like that, and getting to meeting a lot of you, Project Spirit was, if you will, at the, she was kind of on the back burner. She was kind of down for last year. I didn't drive her for almost a year because there was a lot of stuff that had to be fixed. And, but in that time, I was still kind of starting to let people know who she was. And then what's going on, Third Gen 83, my dear friend? You're in time because we were just outside hanging with Spirit. Hey, that's my wife. I love her more than you guys can imagine, Third Gen, check out the shifter that we're going to be putting into Spirit out of a 1965 Mustang. It's here. Check that out. Ready to go. Transmission right over there, you knew that, but this is the new shifter. $60 is what I paid for this. For original equipment, $60. And you know that this stuff is expensive, but the guy just wanted to get rid of it. He shipped it here, and I'm all excited. I've got to get ready to order off for the shift linkage. Locar makes a universal cable shifter linkage that should work with this just fine. And it'll be about like, I think it said like $60 after shipping. That's not bad. I can live with that. Then we still got to get the separator plate. We got to get the new cross member, and of course a mount and everything. All right, go Tons. Thank you for being here today, buddy. And I was getting ready to shut it down, thing, and all these people show up. So we're getting to that point. Just basically, it's getting the money together. You know how it is. You know, one step at a time. So we're almost there. We're almost there. I'm getting excited. I can't wait to do this. You know. And reinstalled the shift knob that we like to use, that the one that was a cue ball. We put it back in today. So it actually looks real good in the black paint. Looks really good. Well, it's easy to modify some of this stuff to make it fit. You know, so that's what's happening. For those who do not know, Third Gen 83 is the guy who bought Project Spirit's brand new steering wheel. He bought that for her. Along with that, the dash cap, that brand new dash, that piece that goes over the dash and makes it look brand new again, he bought that too. So he's actually contributed a great deal to Project Spirit. I mean, these are things that, I mean, she's all dressed up and no car shows to take her to right now. She can't compete right now. All the car shows, I can't get a hold of anybody. Nobody's yet. So that's where the title comes in. She's all dressed up and no place to go. Just like the song says. Kind of breaks the heart a little bit because, I mean, I'm all frustrated because I was ready. It's like 4th of July, there's always car shows. Now with this pandemic going on. So it breaks the heart. Project Spirit is, you know, as right now, she's looking as really good. I mean, all considering. I mean, she looks probably better right now than she has in a long time, you know. I was thinking about that, but the shift kit, the linkage kit, they Locar says that you'll be able to move it where you need it for that tunnel. So it shouldn't be that big of a problem. I should be able to move it forward a little bit, and it won't be that big of an issue. But even still, even if it is an issue, with that bend, it should still go over the seat just enough to at least get, you know, to take it down to drive. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Or the worst case scenario, just scoot the seat back maybe a half an inch. You know, it won't be that big of a deal. Total of 18 likes. Good Lord. I mean, everybody's been looking at. Oh, real quick, someone came through work today asking if Project Spirit was for sale again, and this is how it went. The gal at the back cash window hollers out, "Hey, Prince Magnum, would you come over to the window? Someone's wanting to ask you about your car." I come over. I knew what was coming, and I leaned down. I said, "What can I do for you, sir?" And he says, "Are you the owner of the Maverick over there?" I said, "I am." "Is the car for sale?" "No." "No." And he said, "I thought that you would say that." He said, "Well, I was going to ask anyways." He said, but he said, "Okay." He said, "I was curious." I said, "Well, I'm sorry." I said, "Oh my gosh, there's another, we're going to have to do an unboxing again." That's what's up. Man, thank you so much. Gosh, it's not even here, and I'm going to start breaking down and crying on you guys again. You know, the spirits, you know, for those that don't know, again, Princess Faye bought that car for me. She bought that car for me. And I will say it right now. Um, Third Gen 83 has spent a lot of money on her. I mean, a lot of money on her. And I I don't know how to thank you enough. Yeah, no joke. Brother, I can't thank you enough. I need to give you a call and really, I mean, tell you how much this means to me. You know, for you guys that don't know, okay, I'm going to say it again. Project Spirit was not exactly my dream car. I was looking for a 70s Cutlass of some sort, some 70s Oldsmobile when we were looking for Project Spirit. But when I seen her, sight unseen, just pictures is all I seen. I fell in love. It's like I haven't seen a Maverick in years. I love the Mavericks. You know, my mom had a Maverick. And, Princess Faye basically gave me the money and we went down, we bought Project Spirit, we drove her home. Yeah, we had some problems getting her home. She had a lot of issues. The last, we bought her from the original family, but I'm her fourth owner. Her original owner was a little old lady. Her second owner was the little old lady, one of the little old lady's sons. And then the third owner was one of her grandkids. So that being said, I basically handed $1,000 over to one of the grandkids to purchase Project Spirit. We drove her home. We had some troubles. You got to start somewhere. Every car, to me, every car is a project waiting to happen. It's just a matter of how bad do you want to customize it and how much money are you willing to spend, because you can customize a car on little to no money. You can do it. It can be done. We did it to Project Lena, and that's a 2003 Pontiac Grand Am GT. We did it to that car, and we customized that car not too long ago. Did some custom paint work to her, and it was in peelable paint. And of all the things, spent maybe $40. $40, and that car looks amazing. It's an amazing looking car. Right. So you can do, but Project Spirit was not exactly my dream car. But I'm going to say it right now. Project Spirit's becoming my dream car. And Third Gen 83, I always wanted, a lot of stuff that we're doing to Project Spirit, I always wanted to do. And, Third Gen 83 has helped me to make Project Spirit more of my dream car than ever before. And I can't thank him enough. It means the world to me. Oh, I'm glad you love Project Spirit. Project Spirit's an amazing car. I take me, the bench seat and everything. Tell y'all a funny joke. Oh, well, that does change things a little bit. When it's somebody else's car, it happens. But let me tell y'all, Third Gen 83 and I had and I put this in a video. I put this joke in a video. Him and I were sitting there talking about putting bucket seats into Project Spirit. We were talking about it. And as we were talking about it, I said, we could talk about this all day long, but you and I have already been vetoed on taking the bench seat out and putting buckets in. He's like, we've been vetoed? I said, yeah. Princess Faye said, no bucket seats. And he's like, what's wrong with bucket seats? I said, nothing. But she likes the bench seat because she could scoot next to me and I could put my arm around her. And when we're cruising down the highway, I said, to me, that's, she doesn't want me to take that out for that reason alone. I said, so the bench seat has to stay. And he gets real quiet for a moment. And he said, bench seats are pretty cool. you know, and so, I mean, that's, yeah. Oh, what'd you do? What'd you do? What'd you do? For those that don't know, third gen 83 has a 73 Ford Maverick. Gorgeous car. Oh my God. Beautiful, beautiful example of what the Mavericks were like. Oh my God. Just right there, man. Oh, beautiful ride. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna make this joke. There's an old joke that my dad passed on to me. So I'm gonna it third gen 83. If I had your Maverick and you had a feather up your hind end, we'd both be tickled shitless. Okay. I had to say it. I'm sorry. That's a beautiful ride too, man. It is. If you guys get a chance, go over to his channel. It's not a constant channel, but go over to his channel. He's got amazing footage of his Maverick up there. Beautiful car. Oh my God, beautiful ride. And I love what he did to the taillights. Just gorgeous ride. You also got an 83 TA, don't you? Mhm. Yeah. Tell me what you did to your car. The beautiful ride. Beautiful ride. If you guys have never seen it. That's an old joke that my dad would say about some old cars that he would see that he really liked. You know. But yeah, good old project experience. I'm hoping he's laughing at that. Like, he just totally said that. That's, yeah. For the record, I'm not a Ford guy, but I love Mavericks. I love Mavericks. Right behind that, if you had to ask me if there was another Ford that I would just have to have, believe it or not, that's what's up. That's what we do here on the channel. Get a car that you like, that's in a decent condition, that's in running condition, and fix it up. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be an old car. It can be anything you can get your hands on, and fix it up to fit your personality and start going to car shows. It doesn't have to be fast, but it can look good. Take it to car shows and bring home some trophies. A lot of people forget how fun car shows can be. That's so I love car shows. I would rather do a car show than go to the drag strip. And I love going to the drag strip. So that should tell you. So, I mean, it can, cars can be fun. And when you learn how to work on cars and that sort of thing, you pass that knowledge on to your kids. And hope you have a seat. you know, man, and so you could, I mean, I'm telling you right now, I love, there is a seatbelt in the middle. There is a seatbelt in the middle. Project Spirit came with seatbelts for 6 passengers. Well, 6 people, 5 passengers and the driver. Which, ironically enough, talking about that, all right, Blucky, thanks for being here. Yeah, there's a seatbelt in the middle. There's a seatbelt in the middle. That's just one of the cool things about those old cars. I mean, they really nailed it down. You know, I love the design. I love it. You could do it through the computer. I forget exactly how it's done. I've seen it done, but I know there's a way when you're on PC you can do it. I've not been. I wish you could do it on cell phones, or at least if there is a way, I've never seen how to do it. It's one of them things. Mm. But yeah, um, Project Spirit's slowly becoming my dream car, and I'm not a Ford guy to be honest, but I'm having fun. I knew you were going to be doing that. You were having problems with the fuel sending unit. I know you said that you were waiting for the new one to come in, so it came in and you put it in. Man, that's awesome. I'm telling you. He's also got this beautiful 83 TA that I cannot wait to see what it looks like when it's done. And I've got to see some pictures. It looks amazing. Gorgeous looking ride. Princess Faye jokes every now and again. She'll tell him I said I want it in blue, and I'll be waiting to pick it up. She like she wants his car. She wants his 83 TA. Um, beautiful ride, beautiful ride. And myself personally, I always like the Firebirds and the Trans Ams and the Camaros of the '70s, but the '83, well, the third generation Camaros, Firebirds, and Trans Ams, those are still just good. They're good looking cars, but I lean more towards the second generation because honestly, I like the way they look. Even the ones that got the ugly chrome bumpers on it, I still like. I'm weird like that though. I'm just weird. So, I love them old cars. I mean, I love them. I've I've had a few new ones. Matter of fact, Project Lena is actually the newest car that I have ever had. A 2003, newest car I've ever had. And I'll be honest with you, she's cool to a great degree. She has a lot of cool factor in her, but I'll be honest with you, I'd rather have an old car. That's just me. And I'll drive an old car quicker than I will a new one. I just like the way an old car feels. I love the way they ride. I love the way they handle. Um, I'm weird like that. I'm just weird. I like the old stuff, but that's just me. Man, worked on both of them today. He's a really good mechanic himself and can do a lot of things that even I can't do. As a matter of fact, there's another guy who runs a channel called BST Ford Channel, and he's fixing up a Maverick right now. He's in the middle of doing a V8 swap and swapping over to a new transmission, and he's building that car up. But I'll tell y'all right now, um, I can't wait to see what he's gonna do next. But he was asking what this one chord was. It said, "Holler at Third Gen 83." He's had his Maverick for years. He'll probably know exactly what it is. He's like, he leaves comments in here every now and again. I will holler at him, Prince Magnum. Thank you so much for that little the inside track. And currently, right now, Queen Bee's husband, TFZ Gaming, is working on, what is it, an 86 IROC Z. What's going on, Viable? Welcome back. Welcome back. So that's what's going on. I'm all excited. I can't wait to see. Man, I'm gonna end up crying again when I open up that box, aren't I, Third Gen? Gosh dang you gonna make me, every time he sends me something, I end up crying, because I get all excited and everything. And so yeah, I'm telling you. Project Spirit isn't necessarily the car that I really wanted, but she's definitely becoming the car that I'm in, that I couldn't imagine life without. And that's one of them things. It all started, with I'm sick and tired of new vehicles. I want something that I can work on. I want something that has real American steel in it, and that's what we got. And I couldn't be happier. You know, there are some days I still get pissed off at that car, but you know, I'm having fun. I'm having fun. And that's what it's all about. I think a lot of people forget how much fun it is to fix up these cars and to get out there and just hit the car shows, to go cruising with your sweetheart. you know, um, you know, I'm just, I'm very happy that I have the project car that I do. And if you don't know what that's like, you're missing out. You know, you are definitely missing out. I mean, I've enjoyed, custom car life my whole, pretty much my entire adult life. And I couldn't imagine life without doing project cars. I tried that. Well, actually, I did do that. I stopped building for 4 years and I hated those 4 years. But that wasn't too long after my stroke. After my stroke, I just couldn't do it. I just didn't have I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it, you know. But I'm getting back into it and I'm having a good time. All right. Um, for those of you, oh my gosh, that's right. That's right, V. It is late where you're at. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Yeah, dang. It is late where you're at. Dang, you're falling asleep at the keyboard. Unless you're watching me on a cell phone. Yeah, he's all the way on the other side of the world. And it's really sweet of him to join us and hang out with us and, talk cars. That's right, Meowdred. You guys are about an hour behind me. Because I'm central. You guys are mountain. That's right. You guys are you're right there with third gen 83. Because I think he's actually in you guys's. Yeah. Got to hear her run. I love that car. It's so much fun. So much fun. I've been having a blast working on cars. And again, I'm the host of the channel. Project Spirit, that's the real star. There's no nice way of putting it. Oh, I bet that's beautiful. Bet that's beautiful. Nothing like living, I love that stuff. Waterfalls are more my thing though. But it is getting late where I'm at. This old man's going to have to lie down, start relaxing real soon. And I know Queen Bee's been watching, making sure that, she's going to ask in a moment, have you eaten? Not for a little while. So I need to go sit down and grab me a bite to eat. Probably make something quick, something simple. So I do need to start considering winding it down for the night. So that being said, again, if you all enjoyed the stream, be sure to smash the like button. If you didn't like it, smash the dislike button twice. See how long it takes y'all to get that joke. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Weather permitting tomorrow, like I said, I was going to go to a car show, but weather's just not going to cooperate. So we're going to try to do something interesting tomorrow. We're going to stay active, but I'm not 100% sure what we're going to be doing tomorrow. We might try to stream some the original Legend of Zelda game, or we might try to do Breath of the Wild again. If we do Breath of the Wild, I'm going to get you guys involved in the chat, and we're going to have a good time. I promise. I promise we're going to have a good time. So we're going to try to make where we do some Legend of Zelda on the weekends if there's not a whole lot going on, because I know you guys will enjoy that. Once I get a capture card in, we will start streaming Atari games. Thank you. I appreciate that. No, I'm not eating sugar cubes. I'm actually eating Ritz crackers. Hashtag not sponsored. Eating Ritz crackers. That's good. Okay, you can live with that, huh? Told you, Queen Bee watches over me like a hawk. She's like, caw, you know. You know what? We haven't done the joke in a while. We haven't done the joke in a while. Hang on a second here. We got to do the joke. Alrighty. Again, the Prince Magnum channel is primarily, one of the main focuses is doing DIY. Now, for the awesome shots that come from the recorded content that comes out over the hood of Project Spirit and Project Lena, those come from these really awesome dash cams that we have. And we're damn sure. Right, here we go. Now, these dash cams are so awesome that I use them for pretty much everything here on the channel. And legit, since we're talking about it, I'll go get one of them. Hang on a second. We'll go get one of them real quick so I can completely show you guys properly. But these dash cams are really awesome. 1080 pixel. And they just get amazing footage. Just absolutely amazing footage from over the hood of Project Spirit and Project Lean. We actually have two of these. But since we use them for everything here on the channel, let me say right now that the problem with using these dash cams for everything is there's no such thing as actually having a camera stand because they're meant for the dash. And so I got the idea that maybe I should make my own make my own camera mount for them, for these cameras. This is actually one of the cameras. This is actually the one we use in Spirit. So that being said, we made, I went out behind HQ and there's this like little wooded area. And before it got really grown up, I cut down one of the little trees. Normally the city comes through and cuts all those trees down and keeps the snakes down. And we got a lot of kids in the neighborhood, but because of the pandemic, the city hasn't been through to cut those trees down. So I went ahead and cut one of those little trees down and cut out a section of wood and made my own camera mount for one of these. Okay. And the camera mount, this is it right here. And what I did was I carved out this little section of wood right here. So the camera legit just fits right like that. Okay. And I flattened out this bottom piece right here. So it sits flush. But to get the spot where the lens goes right here, right like that, because it fits perfectly, doesn't it? So what I had to do to get this spot right here is I had to take this file right here, this half moon shaped file right here, and I laid it down and I worked it back and forth until I had this perfect spot right like that for the dash cam. So now I can mount it everywhere. Like a glove, yeah. So because I took this file right here and used it on this block of wood, that must mean I am good at filing and should try my hand at being a secretary. I'm waiting for it. The Queen's gonna lose it. I haven't done that joke in a while. There it is. We used to do that joke all the time, and then when Sean stopped, it just wasn't the same. It just wasn't the same. There it is. Trying my hand at it being a secretary because I'm good at filing. That's too funny. Too funny to me. We haven't done that joke in a while. It's been too long since we've done it. It's probably been about a month since we did that joke. Because Sean hasn't been in here like he was for a while, you know. Because his internet's just so lousy. But we used to do that joke all the time. Princess Faye's not here. We'll do the joke real quick. Because I know that all of us in here are adults, I'll only do the joke once. because Princess Faye doesn't like me doing this joke. But since we're all adults, and I know all of us have dirty minds, let me say right now that my office chair, it squeaks. Right? My chair squeaks. So, because my chair squeaks like that, all I have to do is do something suggestive, and all of you will lose it. I promise you. And it goes like this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Chat went dead, and here it comes. Everyone's going to be... There it is. Everyone's losing it right now. And every time I do that joke, everyone just loses it. They're like, no. Oh my god. Queen loses it. She can't type. Yep. Right now, poor Queen Bee is just laughing so hard she can't even breathe. Last time I did that joke, she's like, oh, stop it, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. But see, that's the thing. If you all can come in here, have a good laugh, forget about what's going on, right? You're like, stop it, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Poor Queen went, you didn't see a message or anything out of her for every time I did it for a good little bit, and it was just because she was laughing so hard she couldn't breathe. And if she can't even breathe, how can you expect her to type? What's going on? And then when he's seen it, he's like, oh God, no. And then when I put the makeup on and then I do it with it's even worse. Yep. Oh yeah, you remember that. Oh man. And Princess Faye got on to me when the makeup was on. Oh man, I mean, I about got my head ripped off for that. But it's so funny. Oh, real quick. Minion, Meowdred, I don't think you guys are in the Discord. So I'm going to drop the link for my Discord. And you guys are welcome to hang with us, chat. Use it to let us know when you're going live, so we can come over and hang with you guys. You know, the Maverick Nation is a big community now. I mean, we're getting there. You know. Let me grab the link. I'll drop it in the chat. Hang on a second. Here we go. Ooh, I'm in my own live stream. Hang on a second. There you go. And I dropped the link to the Discord. So you guys are welcome. And if you got projects or you're doing any artwork, there's spots for that. You know, you guys just, you know, feel free, come on over. and hang with us, chit chat, whatever. You know, we're all family here. We're all family. That's what's up, you know. All right. I keep saying it. I got to go get me something to eat. I got to go take care of me. So I do need to wind this down. Again, thank you all so much for being here with me. We've had so much fun tonight. You guys, for those of you who had not got to see Project Spirit, you got to see what's going on with the old car. You got to see all the exciting stuff. This is what it's all about. You know, um, I have fun doing this stuff. This is what it is, you know. I'm glad you came in. I'm glad you guys came in. You know, I'm glad y'all came over and decided to hang out. Oh, that's you better put that in there. You better make sure we can all get to your Discord, you know. And we have so much fun. That's what's up. We have fun working on cars, working on the bicycle project. We got that sucker stripped down. Really? That's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, to me, DIY is where it's at. And it's hard to build a DIY channel now, but we're getting there. But that does bring us to a good stopping point. Thank you all so much for being here. That's right. You know, um, hey, you guys are awesome. And believe it or not, I was feeling pretty low because of the whole, not being able to get to, being able to get to a car show and everything tomorrow. But you guys turned right around and, you cheered me up today. You guys really cheered me up. I can't thank y'all enough for cheering me up. It means the world to me. You know, you guys are amazing. You guys are the Maverick Nation. And I still need each and every one of you to help me get through the rough moments. What's going on, Broken Mike? We're just getting ready to shut it down. What the hey? We've been in here having all sorts of goofy fun, but we've been having a good time. There you go. Well, I'm glad you had so much fun, Meowdry. I'm so glad you came in here. Yeah, doggone it, where the heck have you been? And we're getting ready to shut her down for the night. We've been out hanging with Project Spirit, been showing her off, revving her up, probably pissing the neighbors off. And we even showed off the brand new shifter. That came in this week. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. You always got the playback. Check it out. This is out of a 65 Mustang. What do you think? Still works. Yep. We're going to fashion it in there. It's going to look really good. It's just going to be like, that's what's up. And we even did, I'm telling you. Oh, and real quick, there's a transmission in my office. That's Project Spirit's brand new automatic that's going to be going in soon. So Project Spirit's going to be an automatic car instead of a stick shift like she's been all of her life. So C4 automatic sitting right over there out of an old Ford Granada. Them old cars need a little chrome. They need a little bit of chrome to just make them pop, Everything should bolt into place. Shouldn't need much in the way of modifications. Just need a few odds and ends, like a cross member and the transmission mount. Bald after tomorrow. Hang on.
We got one in the living room too. I'll show you that real quick. We got one in the living room. You guys get a kick out of it. There you go. This is the green light bulb. It's easier on my eyes when I'm reading, believe it or not. I even occasionally use black light. So 3. Buy them right at Walmart. You know where all the crazy people go to hang out. So again, I do need to wind this down. I got to go take care of my blood sugar. Oh, I love black light. I even got a couple posters that are black light sensitive. Yeah, I still keep stuff like that. Yeah, me too. I love black light. Love black light. Yes, Queen, I'm going to go eat. So I do need to jump off here. I got to go take care of my blood sugar. So that does bring us to a good stopping point. Nothing like a 40-year-old man sticking his tongue out at somebody. So that brings us to the point where I get to say the way I love to end a stream or one of my or my edited content, and it goes just like this. Get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is. Just do something with yourself. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet. Do something special for them today. And as always, for all of you out there, if no one out there has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.